'Cause I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I've breathed the mountain air, man. I've travelled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. Been to Tullamore, Seymour, Lismore, Malulaban, Nambour, Rochester, Kilmore, Marillabah, Birdville, Emmaville, Wallaville, Connemara, Connemara, Strathround, Proserpine, Alladalla, Darwin, Nilliquin, Muckdilla, Wallumbilla, Bougainville, Cumberland, Ramakiller. I've been everywhere, man.
Yes, our mate Lucky Star, he's been everywhere, man. I don't know that he's been to Emu Park because it wouldn't fit easily into the song, as I just demonstrated. Over to you, Grant.
I have a friend of mine who actually used to live in Geelong and work with me at Australia Post, but moved up to Emu Park a few years ago. And joining us on the Two Blokes Chatting radio show is Joe Hannath. Joe, welcome to Two Blokes Chatting radio show. The fader might be a good idea.
Oh, yeah, what you think? Yeah, that's better. Sorry, I'm wondering what you're pointing at. I was just about to turn
You're
it
distracted by the beauty of Tom, I know.
That's what it is, yes, indeed. Yes. Sorry, over to you, Joe.
Joe Hannath, how are you?
I'm really well, thank you.
Yeah, I forgot to push a button. Sorry, my mistake.
That's the sort of show you're on, Joe. How are you? Welcome to the show. And just tell us a little bit, where is Emu Park?
So it's about half an hour from Rockhampton, going towards the coast.
And you work in Yeppoon.
Yes, I do.
So why did you settle in Emu Park? What attracted you to go to that area? What is their attraction?
It's very quiet. It's only a town of like 3,500. It's good community. It's beautiful scenery. We can see Keppel Island from the beach where we are. And it's just a simpler lifestyle. No traffic lights in Emu Park. A couple of roundabouts, but no, it's just a really quiet little community. We love it.
So you're in Geelong, and you think, I'm going to move. Why the Rockhampton Capricornia position, Tropic of Capricorn? Why go there? I mean, I've never been to that town or region, so I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It just seems like a long way to drive.
It is. My partner Brad, he had a friend who lived up here, so we'd been here once before a few years ago, not thinking that we'd ever move here, and then we're just sort of thinking we just wanted to get out of Geelong, just have a better lifestyle, and we just sort of looked at houses around here, and it was a lot more affordable, and we ended up even just buying a house online.
And, of course, what you mean, not a better lifestyle, but a different lifestyle, of course, given that 99% of the people listening are, in fact, in the Geelong region.
No, just different, just simpler, yeah.
So you would see Rocky as the sort of your capital city. Is that kind of how you see it?
Yeah.
And what do you do of a weekend now, Joe? It's lovely weather, I'm assuming, up there. What's the attraction of Emu Park on the weekend?
So they have a few markets. They have markets or in Yeppoon as well. Like last night we went to the yacht club at the marina in Yeppoon for tea. That was really nice. There's a really good social group here which organises things. So, we go to the races or we just go into someone's house and watch the footy or whatever. So it's a really good group of people here too that we've fitted in pretty well with.
Now, I'm going to either make myself look like a genius or a complete moron, so I'm going to run with this. I would have thought two things I would associate with Rockhampton are beef and education. How have I done?
Yeah, we just had Beef Week, which is a pretty massive thing here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about the education part.
Is there not a University of Capricorn or some Capricornia University or something up there?
Good, like private schools and that, even in Yeppoon too. There is a big college there, yeah.
My daughter did a 2-week exchange in 2000, and I'm going to say 2004, no one's going to tell me I'm wrong, where she did a 2-week stint at, is it Rockhampton Girls Grammar maybe? And some of the girls came down to Melbourne to spend a couple of weeks, and she raved about it. She was out at Yeppoon. I think the friend she was living with was at Yeppoon.
Mm-hmm, yep, okay, yeah. No, there is some really good schools, because a lot of kids, even from like Outback,
mm-hmm.
board at the schools and that, so there's a lot of that up here too.
The question's got to be asked, Neil. The name and the town is Emu Park.
Mm.
So are there emus there, Joe?
I think I've only ever seen one.
Don't worry, we have a suburb not very far from here called Deer Park, and I've never seen a deer there. And so I suspect that there may have been once upon a time.
Yes, I was just wondering why they called it Emu Park. There must be emus like people think overseas, that there's kangaroos and koalas jumping down the street everywhere.
No thought of calling it Beef Park?
No.
Now, is it true, and bearing in mind that we are a family entertainment program, well, I use the term entertainment loosely, but let's run with it, that there are bulls on the road into Rockhampton at the entrance, and at times certain parts of the bull are confiscated by ne'er-do-wells and people being a little bit silly.
I haven't heard of that.
Haven't you?
I've missed out on that one.
Well, you're going to have to find out about that, Joe. That sounds very interesting, doesn't it?
I'll look into that one for you.
I believe there was you're familiar with the bulls I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yes, well, a certain part of the anatomy was, let's call it dangling, and the young folk of the town and people travelling through on holidays found it highly amusing to take that particular part of the anatomy with them, to the extent that I'm told that the Rockhampton City Council used to keep several spare sets at the depot so they could go out. They may now be welded on.
Well, I actually saw a picture the other day of the bulls, and it's actually got a pole going right through that part of the anatomy.
Excellent. So maybe that's why it is.
That's taken now.
Yes. We have two people in the next studio, one of whom I know works in the meat industry, who thinks this is the most ridiculous conversation we've ever taken place. And he's probably not very wrong. They're both in there absolutely laughing their heads off at that concept. But
Joe's got a good story for colleagues on Monday when she gets
absolutely.
back to work.
And if you see a bloke in a dodgy-looking Toyota Ute up there, and he says, "G'day, my name's Tom," just go and count the number of you-know-what's hanging off the bulls, because he's about to get in the car and drive up.
Let's keep this on the straight and narrow, Joe. Now, you've obviously moved up there to live. Would you recommend Emu Park as a good place to holiday?
Oh, it's fantastic. Actually, this time of the year, a lot of the southerners come up, so the caravan park is full. So if you're going to come up, you better book well ahead. But no, definitely, it's a beautiful spot, just really peaceful, beautiful beaches. Maybe not swim at the beach.
Why? Because you get stung, or you get your leg bitten off by something, or?
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you been up there?
Hey?
How long have you been up there?
3 years.
Okay, and we're already southerners. She tell you what, she doesn't. She's. It's a crap lifestyle in Geelong, and we're southerners. Have you picked that up?
I know. Last time she was down, she had the big coats on and everything, complaining how cold it was down
soft. So, Queensland's a big place. There's the one statement of fact that we've actually put out today. How far north of Brisbane and south of Townsville is Emu Park / Rocky?
We're pretty much in the middle.
Okay, so if you were to drive to Brisbane, how long would you need to allow?
10 hours.
Okay, so it's a bit like us driving to Sydney.
Yes.
Okay, how is it? That would be the Cook Highway. Would that be right?
Is it Bruce Highway?
Bruce Highway. You're right. I think Cook Highway further up. Is that a reasonable road to drive?
No.
Excellent.
It's horrible.
Yeah, because there's a lot of money being done, but on the bit between Sydney and Brisbane, as though a lot of politicians live in that part of the world. Not that I would indicate that, but the road isn't all that flash. I suppose the first couple of hours would be all right coming out of Brisbane because of the Sunshine Coast and all that sort of the part of the world.
Yeah. But no, after that, like a lot of roadworks always, and it's just not. Yeah, there's a few accidents along there too, but it's not really a good drive.
But there are plenty of flights in and out, I assume.
Yes. Yeah. You can fly in.
I was just having a look on the Google there too, Neil, and I noticed their number one tourist attraction in Emu Park is the singing ship.
Yes.
Have you been there, Joe?
Yes. And just near that is the RSL. It's got the Anzac Memorial Walk, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yes, I'm just looking at some nice pictures. It does look a nice place to be, the Anzac Plaza Emu Park. Looks lovely.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. They've done a fantastic job with that.
Bad sign, though, that Grant's bored enough to actually go onto Google. He's not interested in the conversation. He's just trying to do some research on the fly.
Well, Joe knows what I'm like at work. I haven't had time to do much research at all this week.
No, we're working too hard, eh?
I can't help it, Joe. You taught me well.
Is he working hard or is he hardly working? That is the question of the day. Joe, we are enamoured by the thought of getting up to see that part of the world. I have just about been to every one of those, I'll call them large cities along, all the way from Mossman all the way down to Brisbane. But for some reason, there's a black spot just north and south of where you are. So I'm going to get up there at some stage. Don't you worry about that.
Okay, we'll have to catch up for a beer then.
Oh, I don't drink anymore.
Oh.
I don't drink any less, don't get me wrong. Putting out the old ones today. Thank you so much for being part of this circus, and we look forward to catching up sometime.
Yeah, no problem. That'd be great.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. See you next time you're down.